option because if you go and look in our catalog, which is our academic standard of how we run our programs, not all courses say, oh, an A through a D is passing and only an F is failing. That is the case for maintaining academic standards, but it's also allowing different programs to meet their credentialing processes. For instance, for nursing, for engineers, for teachers, they have very specific accreditation and licensure requirements. And so all of those are built in. So the different options. So if you go and you click on that on the FAQ page, the COVID-19 FAQ page, where it says, how do I determine if my grade is a pass or not, is passing or not? It really helps you determine, and the iffy position is the grade of D. Is it a passing grade for the course you took, or is it not a passing grade? Now, if you go and look in our catalog, all of the core curriculum, your courses that count towards your core curriculum that you take at UT Tyler must be grades of C or higher. And so there's a list of all the courses that are part of the core. Actually, you click to it and it gives you another web page that gives you the list. And then you go into a section where you go to your college and your program, and it tells you the requirements for your program. And it links you to the catalog so that, again, you can go and click on the catalog to understand that. It also says, if you're not sure, go to your advisor or, email your advisor or make an appointment with your advisor. So that's one of the things that is now clearly outlined on the COVID-19 FAQ page. The next one is, what's the process for selecting that pass-fail option? So how does that happen? And really, you don't have to make this decision at all until after your grades are posted. And then starting on May 7th, when you can see and everybody can see the grades, and we've made it where there's, you know how sometimes in the past, if you didn't do your course evaluations, you couldn't see your grades for a while? We've removed that. And so, everybody will be able to see their grades on May 7th. And then you want to look at the pros and cons list, and if you're thinking about med school, you may want to be careful of that. So we've kind of gone through the pro and con. Oh, it says my internet is unstable. So I'm going to turn my video off to hopefully help that. Can y'all see and hear me, or? Okay.
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, uh-oh. Then, so you want to check that pro and con list, and then you want to look and see, is your grade going to be considered a pass or a fail? Now, you can select, let's say you have a D, but you're going, I don't want that. So, you've got, depending on the course, the option to take a pass or fail. Now, if you have a D and it's in one of those classes that you have to have a C or above, it's really a fail. You can't select pass. But you have the option to work this in your favor. And remember, the GPA, the pass or the fail doesn't hurt your GPA, either direction. Now, if you're on probation, that's a problem, because then it won't help your GPA, because hopefully you've done really well this semester and are proving that GPA. And then, so you make that decision, you complete the form. The form will not be posted until May 7th. Okay.
Colleen, so you may want to just elaborate on the D, because, and I think this is going to be a conversation to have with every one of the students who is in that situation, because if I get a D, as Colleen said, if that's for a course that only C or better is acceptable, I still have a choice, because if I don't want it to affect my GPA, I could opt to pass fail. So even though I would get an F, but that F would not affect my GPA. So case by case for every student, they may have a different opportunity to benefit from this, or in other words, minimize, I would say, the negative impact of that bad grade on their GPA and on their career.
Right. And that's why it's a decision, you know, we advise you to, or we suggest make sure and talk with someone. Your advisor's there to talk with you. We'll be doing training with the advisors too, so that they understand about this. But really, it could be if you don't have the grade you want. Let's say, honestly, you've got a 4.0 and this was a little bit bumpy for you, and now you have a B in a class. Well, you know what? Big deal then. You know what? It is a big deal. I'm not trying to be ugly, but it's still, you could use the pass, and so that B is not going to hurt your GPA. And so you have all different kinds of options, and we did not want you to have to make these decisions prior to seeing your grades. You know, no crystal ball is needed. You can look at your grades and then make that decision. So grades are posted on the 6th. On the 7th is when you have, that's the first of your 10 business days. It's not 10 calendar days, it's 10 business days. So you have May 7th through May 19th to look at this and submit your form. And it does go through a review process, but really it's just going, okay, did you write the right grade that you had? And is this grade really eligible for a pass or a fail? We're not going to say, oh, we don't like the choice you made. No, you're an adult, you're making the choice. But we just want to make sure that the information is valid, that you've made the correct decision on the pass or the fail. According to the chart, we're not going to say if it's not in the catalog, that's what we're going with. Whatever's in the catalog is what we're going with. And so then you will take this form. It'll be an online form. You'll do it all through your Patriots. That's how we're making sure it's your signature. It has to come through your Patriots email address, because we know some of you don't have something that you could sign or do the, specialized signature. No worries about that. You just type in your name and then send it through your Patriot. And every college has an email address that you're supposed to send it to. And somebody in your college will look and say, okay, yep, because it's too much for the registrar. We don't want to send all that 10,000 paper, So it's going through the colleges, and then it will get processed. And then the registrar's office, when they process it, you'll get some kind of notification that your pass-fail has been processed. So that's kind of what we've got in terms of the pass-fail options. Some other options that I would really encourage you to share with your students is that you look at Upswing. Upswing is a 24/7 tutoring program. It has over 400 classes that are supported in there. And it's not being well used right now by our students. And I would think, wow, I mean, there's stuff in there that I'm like, man, people have to take this course? Yuck. So really, even those upper level, those senior level courses that if it's your major, you're probably really excited to take. I look at it and it scares me. So that is an option to you, and we have that available to you. So I would encourage students to go to that. If you just type Upswing, UPSWING, on the UT Tyler website, it will take you there, and you log in with your UT Tyler credentials. That's already paid for. It's available. It's 24/7. And so that's one resource that we've not been seeing students use that much. We're also diligently trying to work if students are having funding issues. I sit on the emergency funds review committee. We're trying to, if faculty, I'm sorry, not faculty, but if students are letting us know, they're letting us know through faculty, hey, I don't have this, or I don't have, I've got unstable internet connection, or I've got this, or I've got that. Man, I've been FedExing hotspot boxes when I can get them. It's like finding toilet paper. Whoever's mother got that for her birthday. It's hard to find them, but we've got some of them, and we are mailing them out to students with a subscription so that they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay for the hotspot. So we're trying to get webcam, or we don't think we have very many webcams left, but webcams, computers or laptops. So we're really trying to help you get through this semester. We want you to finish up strong. To me, as I've looked, and I know Dr. Memorant's the same way, as we have looked at this, I think our policy is the most generous across the UT system. Most schools are making students determine beforehand, and that's hard to know how you're going to do.
Actually, Colleen is correct. When last time we checked within the 8 campuses of UT system, half would require that the students would decide on pass-fail prior to the final exam. And the other half were after. But as a result of, I guess, the student governments associations talking to each other, the other half are taking this, making some adjustments, and some of them are coming our way. And I'm hoping that it would become a concept, because I think it's unfair to say that you choose ahead of time. I think it would be fine for the students to see their letter grade and then decide which option would work with them. And it's not about, again, letter D, as Colleen said, it's possible that I got a B, but because I'm a 4.0, I would think that a pass would work better for me than a letter grade B.
So are there questions you have for us about the process, or?
I also wanted to say something about this online summer. As you know, for the summer, we have decided that we're going to go online, fully online. And there are only few of the courses that this time, because it was not in the middle of the semester, few of the courses or labs that could not be transitioned to online, we decided to leave them off. But again, we love to hear from you and from other students to see if there are any concerns. Like, for example, we heard from initial, when we posted this, some of the students in BSN came back to us and said, oh, are we going to be able to start the summer cohort? And we assured them that yes, with the arrangements that we have made, we're able to start that. So we want to make sure we're mindful of the challenges that the students are going through, and both Colleen and I and all our teams would be happy to see how we can address your questions and concerns.
You guys feel free to do the hand raise if you have any questions. I do have one. So I had a graduate student come to me and ask about options, and didn't seem like he was aware, or he or she, I don't know if it was a girl or boy, they weren't aware of options for them. So I was just curious if you could kind of give me a breakdown of what is going with grad student options.
For grad students, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Colleen.
Grad students are using the option of incomplete. That was agreed upon by the graduate dean and the deans in that area. And so they will take and use an incomplete option instead of a pass-fail.
Okay,
and the
so
reason for that was that in some cases, when they, at the graduate level, because they have to maintain a 3.0 GPA, if they actually use the pass-fail, in some cases, they may have to choose the fail option, and that would actually, they would have to repeat the course. But if they get an incomplete, with the consent of the instructor, they can actually extend it. And Colleen, you may want to also say that what we are trying to do is to extend that period of time that an incomplete would automatically convert to F.
Right, we're taking that through the process. Currently, policy states that a grade of incomplete After 1 year, it reverts to an F. And what we're working on and getting it through committees is to extend that to 2 years because we know the circumstances. Although we hope to that we'll come out of as a nation through this very quickly. Some people may need to take a break to financially recover, or to their jobs are the way they are. And so we don't want, that 3 semesters basically to, for them to have that issue with just 3 semesters. And so we are working to get that through committees to extend that to the 6 terms or the 2 years.
So I'll get to you in the next, David. And then, so let me do 2 things. So when you say incomplete, is every graduate student getting an incomplete, or that's only if they need it?
No, it's only if they need it. You work that an incomplete, and incomplete is also initiated by the faculty member. The student can say, I would like an incomplete. On an incomplete, the faculty member is who does the paperwork. And the faculty member and the student work out a contract of how we're going to work through to resolve or to finish up the course and to recover in a way. And for some students, it may be that you just come and take the course again when it's face-to-face, or start over again, or there's all different kinds of ways that incompletes can be resolved.
And actually, the student who gets incomplete, with the consent of the instructor, the next time that the course is offered face-to-face, can, without paying extra tuition, they can go through the entire course. And at the end of that course, they would get, so let's say fall, we go back to normal, which I pray for, then I think the student who gets incomplete this semester could actually sit through the class in fall, don't have to pay extra tuition. They would receive a grade that would be reported as of the spring 2020.
Okay. So, I mean, and to me, those all seem like reasonable options. I guess, let me paraphrase real quick the email that I got, and then maybe you can address just the exact detail there. Or, maybe clarify that person just might have some information wrong, or they need to be told some things. So they said that I think more options should be made available, as most of us have other responsibilities that might come ahead. It's unfair that my GPA has to pay even if I have to drop a class. So how would you respond to that?
I don't understand how your GPA is affected if you drop a class. This person needs to be, this person is just probably a little confused, and so I would hope that they would go see their faculty advisor. But if you drop a class, there's no way that your GPA is impacted. And matter of fact, we've got a system for graduate students that with the incomplete, their GPA is not affected either.
But I wouldn't advise them to drop the class, because when you drop the class, you have lost financially. I think even for that case, even if I feel that I'm going to get an F in this course, I assure you that the instructor would say, I work with you, get an incomplete, because incomplete doesn't have financial implication, doesn't have GPA implications. So I think that would be the best option for any graduate student. Okay,
good. That gives me some ability to reply, and because I didn't know some of the answers to start with, so that gives me some good ability to reply, and then I can kind of point that person in the right direction. Let me get David here. He has a question as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a little bit less academic, but now that we're doing summer online, will on-campus housing still be available for the students who need it?
I sit on quite a few committees with Dean of Students, Petit, and I can say that they have all different kinds of options. So students that need a place to stay are not being kicked out.
Okay, so good evening to both Dr. Mimran and Ms. Colleen Swain. I want to thank you both for being here and reassuring us during this difficult time. I was having connectivity issues earlier when Dr. Swain, I believe you said that your internet connection was unstable. So I really didn't get to hear you, and I'm sorry if this is repetitive, but could you please elaborate on the whole pass-fail options for the core curriculum. So, I mean, for instance, let's say a student has a C or borderline D in like English or economics or accounting, but they're doing good in their courses, but they need that course to advance to the other course. How would that work out for them?
Okay, our policy, our university policy is in grades of core curriculum, you do have to have a C or better.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the person has a D, that's, what I would do on that one is that's basically for that core curriculum. If they made a D in this situation, the smart thing to do, even though it sounds counterintuitive, the smart thing is to take the fail, because it doesn't impact your GPA. And if you have a D, you're going to have to repeat it anyway in order to. So if you have a D in a core curriculum class, the smart thing to do is to take the fail. If you have a C and you're going, oh my gosh, this is going to, I'm not good at this, but it's going to hurt my GPA, then take the pass. And it's okay, and it doesn't hurt your GPA either. So does that kind of clarify or help?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That makes sense. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if they do take the fail, it won't affect their GPA, but they will have to repeat the course. And as Dr. Memoran mentioned, it's if let's say like I take economics in the spring, but I get a D, I have the option to do that and then take it again in the fall, but it will show if I pass in the spring.
Okay, no, you're getting two things mixed up.
Okay. That's
Okay,
what I heard.
and no, that's okay. Because it's confusing. Now, undergraduates also have the option of asking their faculty member, can I do, let's say that you've been trucking along pretty good and your laptop crashes, and you let the university know, and we're out of them, we don't have anything to loan you. What I would do in that situation is go, faculty member, would you please, here's the situation, can you please do an incomplete with me? And, faculty, we get it, because honestly, we didn't sign up for this either. We're all reeling. We're all a little bit, going, oh, this is crazy. And so, it's perfectly fine for undergraduates to also do the incomplete. But your faculty does have to agree to that, and you and your faculty member have to work that out. The faculty member fills out this paperwork. And then if that was the case, then, they may say, okay, I'll do an incomplete with you, and, start coming towards the end of the semester, or you work it out together where you start coming back to class, sit in. The reason the incomplete is not something, let's say you've made D's all along in a class, that's not really an incomplete option. Mm-hmm. An incomplete option is where something comes up and you've had this good track record. Graduate students, they have to be making a B or a better. Their GPA, their CUNY GPA must be a 3.0. Every once in a while, a grad student will make a C or something like that. And so, but for the most part, they know they have to make A's and B's all the time. So that's why that incomplete option is the option for them, where we're not giving them the pass-fail options. But for undergraduates, you still have that. So there's, and if you look at the, on the COVID-19, one of the questions says, I'm not happy with my grades. Pass-fail is only one of the options. Another option is an incomplete, but you have to get the faculty member to agree to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that if the faculty member agrees to it and then you finish it the following semester, it would post as of the spring. But if you do the pass-fail, it would, and if you go back and retake it, it would not show up for spring. It would show up in the semester that you have taken it.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you both for the clarification on that.
anybody have any more questions for our guests? Going once, going twice.
I want to encourage y'all to just finish strong. I'm so proud of you. Y'all are being resilient and you're persisting. And I know it's hard, but I'm really, really, really proud of you. And I know Dr. Marin is too.
Absolutely. And the only thing I would say is that I just saw the email coming out, the weekly update for COVID-19. The first item there is federal assistance available to students with COVID-19 hardships. So please make sure that every student is aware of this, because this would be an opportunity for the students to actually get some financial support. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. I hope that got all of the worries about pass-fail options out of the way. Or I guess to get the worries out of the way is kind of your own perception of it, because there's a lot of worries right now, but worries about those things specifically on pass-fail. So moving on to, I guess we'll start at officer reports. This week, I have been actually rather busy. The biggest thing I've been doing is communicating with other UT system schools. I kind of had this idea of the possibility of, in a future year, maybe 2 years, of adding so traditionally there is a big overarching organization for student government in America. Now they do a big conference, a big summit. It's not exactly the most wonderful event that I've heard to go to. So something I thought of, and it's kind of been in my brain for a little while, and is kind of starting a summit of some kind between all other UT system schools. So specifically, I've reached out to UT El Paso because they have a very active student government on their campus. They do a lot of things, and the goal is to kind of do like a yearly exchange of ideas. I would say that my goal of doing it and what I've been thinking about and working on is to kind of promote a unity between the UT system schools, and not that just like, oh, UT Tyler gets the Northeast, and then UT El Paso gets the West, and then UT Austin picks up everyone. And it's kind of should be like this collective unity. And this is a group of schools that are together. And I mean, it seems like that whenever we're down there in Austin and doing UT SAC work, but it doesn't always feel like that whenever we're on our schools. It's just kind of like, we just do it because UT Austin or UT system asks us to. And something like this could, help us see new things. And because we're under a lot of the same general guidelines, then maybe we can work on how to fix those things and better those type of things. And it's an overall leadership development for students who are taking place, and as you guys are doing, to be able to network from people all across Texas would be really cool. So I've been doing that. I have a lot of work into it. If it starts coming up, even over the summer, if it really gets going and I get a lot of support from system and the other schools, and maybe something that depending on the setup and guidelines of it, settings and guidelines of it, it would be something that, depending on the committee that's set up to start it, if it does get to go to something like that, it may be something that may be coming down our pipeline. So for those of us who are going to still be here next semester and going into the summer, that'll be really cool to see. That would be really cool to see. Other than that, I'm going to be finishing up, and depending on how everything wraps up in the next couple of weeks will be the topic of discussion with the president. But I do have another meeting set up with the president before next week, and I've been doing stuff like that, just finishing and wrapping stuff up. So sorry for that long-winded report of mine. Moving on to Vice President Cooper.
All right, so I have been busy this week with not only student government work, but also my internship work. And like I mentioned before, my internship is with the group that's at the front of the coronavirus, so very busy, a lot going on with that. SGA related. So last week I mentioned the Netflix party suggestion. So I talked about it at eBoard on Monday, and we decided to send out a survey via Twitter. So Secretary Jennings sent out a little survey thing on Twitter with the options of having a Netflix party, a Kahoot challenge, or a photo contest come from student government to the student body. And the Kahoot challenge won, but the Netflix party was second runner up. So what I'm going to do is, I already communicated with President Mahennet a few days ago when I figured out the results. But I'm going to create an SGA Kahoot. So might be one or two of them. One's going to be SGA, like an SGA related Kahoot. So it's like but I'll have to create it after elections, which, I mean, I can do that because it's tomorrow. But it'll be like, who's your SGA president? Who represents this college? How many seats are there? Stuff like that. And then I can even create another one that's just about something else. Just try to engage our students. And then I'll probably go ahead and still do a Netflix party. But if it's okay with y'all, we can do it just with us, because a few other on-campus departments are doing Netflix parties already. Literally after we mentioned it, they posted theirs saying they're doing it. So I thought we'd just do it with us if that's okay. And then I'm still, of course, scheduling speakers every week. Next week, we will have our new Senate and board, so we probably won't have speakers next week unless something comes up between now and then. And then I thought, I've been thinking about our 3 other campuses this week, just because it's hard to engage them and get in contact with them just when we are at school. But it's even harder now that we're all online. And so I haven't really come up with a way to engage them other than just the same way we're engaging the rest of the student body, which is inviting them through social media or text to come to our Zoom meetings. And once we have the Kahoot Netflix party out, I can send them all of that. I do have a contact at the Houston campus that I got when I was the treasurer. I don't have any at Longview and Palestine, so I've been reaching out to people to try and get emails or phone numbers or something from students over there, that student leaders at those campuses. And then if you have any contacts at those campuses, send them to me so then I can send them information. And then because we're still going to do a Netflix party, that is just our Senate, I'll be sending y'all movie suggestions soon, and you can also make your own suggestions. But I've just been finding Netflix movies over the past couple of days that I think everybody would like. It's a bunch of different genres, and we can do more than one movie. We can do a movie a night. I don't care. Just I need to know from y'all so I can set it up. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Moving on to Secretary Jennings.
Howdy, guys. Today I did a bunch of work to get the survey finished. I sent it to everybody that's on my committee as well as the e-board so that you guys can kind of look over it. And once it goes through that level, I'll send it out to you guys so you can see it. But basically, it's just all the questions that we discussed in my committee last week to kind of gauge how the school has responded to the virus, how students are doing, because this is a unique situation, and it'll be nice to gather some of that information in case some other emergency situation should happen in the future. I also finished up the first SGA newsletter. I'm waiting on one picture from our faculty staff member of the month, and then that will be good to go out. I'm really excited about it. I've been working really hard on it. So those are my big 2 projects, and they're both kind of wrapping up. So my next thing is just going to be preparing the documents so that whoever is secretary after me will know what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. I'm excited to see both of those things. I'm excited to see the newsletter because I hadn't seen it yet, and it'll be cool. So I'm excited to see that. Moving on to Aya Treasurer Wawashde.
Alrighty, so hi guys. I hope you are all staying safe and healthy. I know it's a stressful time and it's towards the end of the semester, but hang through, stay tough, be due diligent, and take into account what Dr. Swain and Dr. Mamaran has said. There's a lot of opportunities for you guys to seize during this hard time. As for what I've been doing this week, it's just the same as always. I've been updating our budgets, and I have been preparing the documents for the next treasurer who steps in, like a how-to process. I'm also going back and forth with a maybe how-to video and make it funny, but hasn't been really successful, and I don't want it to be one of those boring, like, Khan Academy videos where it's like, oh, this is treasurer, this is what you do, this is how much money you have. So yeah, that's been about it. I've updated our budgets and just been doing the same thing as always. And this is something that we discussed in our e-board meeting. And I want to stress to you guys that I miss you. I miss my job. I miss seeing students. And this has really, really been more challenging than I anticipated it to be. But hopefully this will be all over soon. We can go back to having our weekly GA meetings and cracking jokes and stuff. So
Hey, I can crack jokes over Zoom if you guys really, really want me to. I don't know if you guys want.
I take that back.
I see. Well, that's awesome. That'll be cool. I want to see a funny video of how to do the treasurer job. Because a lot of times I don't know the hard work that goes into that, and I know there's a lot that goes into it, so that'd be really cool to see. Moving on, lastly, Parliamentarian Ray.
Hello. So two big things, or I guess three. I sent the official approved rules to the VP of Student Success. So hopefully we should be hearing back from that very quickly. And once that happens, we'll be able to start making some action happen. And then Joshua Mininet, President Mininet, he emailed me about some rule changes regarding the House rules and just setting them up to include this digital meeting. So we added a small portion there. It's nothing that you don't already know, but it's just so in the future, if we have to run these kind of meetings, we already have this process outlined. And then, yes, I did get the email. I replied back to the email for the graduate student that was requesting on that. So I did have some communication with him. There was obviously concerns there, but hopefully I think his concerns can be easily solved. And then major updating still, just constantly improving the next set of rules that we have, because during this transition and the transition to online, as well as the transition from rules, from one set of rules to the next set of rules to a new set of rules, and then how we're going to be doing that, there's a lot that's come up and just realizations that we've come across that have said, oh, we need to have this clear. So I've been doing a lot of that. I'm very close to getting that finished. So, and at some point, again, I will want to spend some time in our meeting, in our General Assembly meeting, and get opinions from y'all. So right now I've kind of just been making the decisions based on what we already do, but there are some things that I don't know what would work out best, and we may have to consider those things and say, hey, and as well as I want to show all the things that I have changed so that y'all will be able to recognize those things and then say, okay, this is what we want, this is what we want, and really refine it at that point. So that's going to be my goal over the next couple of weeks as well.
Awesome, thank you, sir. So moving on to committee reports, we'll start per usual, student life, communication rules, things like that. Again, if there's not a lot, or if you've already covered it for a lot of these officers who get into what they would typically do in committee times, it's no worry, but we'll go ahead and start doing that. So starting at student life.
Yeah, I've pretty much already covered it. It was just about the Netflix party stuff. That's it.
Awesome. Communications.
Sorry, I was typing. So like I said, my committee met last week and we discussed all the questions that we would want to see on that survey. And because we're kind of running out of time for this semester and we want to get that out in a timely manner, I just went ahead and wrote up the questions. So this week we're going to be working on approving that, editing the questions, and getting it ready to send the final version out. So I'll see y'all Friday morning.
Okay, Moving on to Rules Committee.
I've already discussed what I've done, so.
Okay. Housing. Let's see. Housing. Do you have anything that you guys have moved on?
So we're working on sending out letters to the people that we have ideas for next year. And then also we have something for new business next week. We just want to finalize it before we bring it to the entire body. That's all.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm excited to see that. Environmental Sustainability Committee.
Cool thing that I've done, I sent out a list of objectives for the committee in the fall. I sent that out to the other members of my committee just so they could review it and see if it's, it all makes sense. And so it's basically just prepping us, getting us a foundation for next fall. And hopefully I can get a response back from my fellow committee members and make sure that everything looks good. And, that's what I've been working on.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. SGAC. Yes, no.
It's the same old of updating budgets and stuff. There's, my committee met twice to go over our rules and regulations and the updated policy, but that's only been it. We, SGAC primarily meets to get students' requests and discuss their requests and fund their organizations, but unfortunately we don't do that anymore, so really there hasn't been much meetings aside from keeping in contact with my committee.
Okay. Then lastly, probably a lot of same stuff. Infrastructure. Yes, no.
Yeah. No, we haven't been meeting.
Okay. Then we'll move right on into student voice reports. Start with the same. Starting with the same order as usual. Sorry, I had a little. It just left me. See, I can crack a joke about that. I was about to say something about soap, but it slipped out of my mind. So, get it, soap. I'll stop. Here we go. So we'll start there. So, College of Arts and Sciences. Is there anyone from here today? I don't see anyone right off. So then we'll go to College of Engineering, I guess. At the bottom of my screen, probably at the top of his, Senator Barakat.
You guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Nothing big to report. Since most of the people I encounter or talk to me are undergrad more than grad students, they've been coping pretty well. Because they're all more gen ed courses, so they don't have much of a problem in that regard. I'm sure Parliamentarian Ray may have other people from graduate studies come over, but as for me, there's nothing really big to report this week.
Okay. And do you have anything else that you might be able to add to any of that, Parliamentarian Ray?
No, I do have a question for Senator Barakat. Which classes are you taking this semester that are engineering courses?
This semester, none actually. I took intro last semester.
Okay.
Next semester, I'll be taking engineering courses.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry. Student body at large. Let me see. I can hardly. Oh, Senator Botter. That's the man.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to report this week. I had both of my group project members drop the course at the beginning of the week, so I've been scrambling to get the whole project done myself. So that's been the better part of my last week.
Wait, so was there not anything done by professor to compensate for the fact that you had a group project and then they dropped out?
So they dropped out without telling me. So I emailed him yesterday, but it was yesterday evening and I haven't seen anything from him yet. Uh, they didn't tell me until Sunday. So we'll see.
If I may cut in, David, was this with the same professor who you've told me about?
Yeah.
And there
Yeah,
wasn't any improvements after I told you to give it out some time, see how it goes?
he did. He switched the entire course to basically just reviewing material we had already gone over. I guess the grades from the last exam kind of showed him that people were struggling. And I had sent him an email as well. So overall, the course has improved. I just
Okay.
had a lot of work.
So your challenge right now is just having to do the group work on your own, but as far as the course goes and the complaint that we were talking about to go to the department chair.
Oh yeah,
Wait out with you
addressed
and
it.
JT, see how
Yeah.
things went.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I wanted to check with you about.
Okay. Anyone else? Student body at large? Student body at large. Am I missing anyone? Okay, I don't want to do that. I would feel really bad if that happened. Okay, so College of Education and Psych. We'll start with, again, Macy Ann, and then we'll go to Senator Stabenow, and then lastly, Senator Long.
I haven't really heard anything new. I know that some classes, some professors keep on like adding new stuff, like just random assignments and changing a lot of due dates. So I made a meeting to talk to the inner director of the School of Education, Dr. Frank Dykes, about this, just so that he is aware that this is going on.
Okay, awesome. Next up, Senator Stabenow.
There really hasn't been a whole lot going on. Lyceum videos, I believe, have been posted, and I will get that link sent to Casey, so maybe she can send it out in an email to all of you guys, because Senator Long and I would really love if you watched our 2 research presentations, because they're really cool. But all of the psychology classes have been going really well, and we actually just got an email today from the advisor for the psychology department, just letting us know of some deadlines coming up, either for dropping classes or for graduating seniors, just some general stuff that's coming up. So the psychology department is doing really good.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Let me see. And I'm going to watch those. I actually found the link to the Lyceum, and if I find time to watch those, I will do it. But I started going through there, and man, I did not realize there was that many people that did those, because there's a lot. And I was interested in like 10 of them, but sadly I didn't have the time. So I'll go find yours this weekend.
Please do.
And then
it is called Are You Positive?
Yes, I am. Are you positive?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. It's good to be positive when we're hearing that shit. No, I'll go watch it. I'll make sure to go see that, because I'm really interested in seeing those. Last for College of Education and Psychology, Senator Long.
Yeah, hi. So not too much to update as far as psychology goes. I still believe that psychology's got some of the best professors and they're handling the change really well. I have been seeing like students on Twitter just feeling kind of generally discouraged. I think that's kind of just something that everybody's feeling, and it's a little bit hard to counteract. Really, I've been working on Lyceum this past week. That was a very taxing project to do online. So yeah, if y'all would like to do that, to watch those, that'd be great. I think mine has big words in it. It's like the relationship between core affect and emotional granularity. It's really, yeah. And then I've also been working on my campaign for Miss UT Tyler. So we all make sure that when y'all go and vote, to vote for me, please. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna try to watch both of those this weekend. It'll be a good replacement for Netflix or something like that. Not that I don't want to watch a Netflix party. That's not what that comment meant. But I'm gonna go watch those, and that'll be fun to see. So, Souls College of Business. I guess I don't mind the order, but I guess we can start with Senator Forrester, then Senator Rodriguez, and then Senator Foote, if that's okay.
Alrighty. So the teacher turned out negative in the test for COVID, so that was great. And she met with us over Zoom with the class. Well, there were 6 of us, but you know that's enough, I guess. And talked about the curriculum that we're going to go over and the final project kind of thing that we have with the groups or by yourself. And so pretty much it. That's all I have to update about. So.
Okay, that's awesome to hear. It's awesome to hear that she tested negative. Second, Senator Rodriguez.
Sure. So not a lot. I don't have a lot to report this week. Our meeting for the Souls Ambassadors was canceled on Tuesday because everyone seemed to be busy, especially within the last few weeks of the semester. Everyone seems to be cramming in for last-minute projects and for exams like I have. But so far, they haven't came to me with any complaints or any problems, which is good. Also, the student I told you last week that was having issues with the pass or fail option, he wanted more information on it. Thankfully, his professor got back to him and he was able to resolve that issue. And so really nothing new there. And that's all I have.
Awesome. And
not a whole lot has happened. I also was in that meeting with 6 people as Senator Forrester was. So that was a great meeting. I don't know why most of the class, because the class is like 30 people. So I don't know why they weren't there. Because a lot of the people that weren't there were the people that were complaining about not having any updates from the teachers. So that's, I don't know. Some people are special, I guess. And in terms of some other management class, still having some great responses from my professors in that regard. They seem to be, it took them a little bit to get some of the people that were used to being in class into actually doing something online. They were being very, like as a class, there were a lot of people that were not doing a whole lot. And so he sent out an announcement that called everybody out on that and graded them really lowly on it. And now everyone is, posting very long discussion posts and actually contributing as a senior level class should be contributing. So in that regard, I think everything's good. Yeah, that's about it.
Good to hear. And then freshman senators. Well, that's Rhett Reed. Go ahead, sir.
Am I the only one today?
What was that?
Am I the only one today? The only freshman senator? Can you hear me?
I believe so. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir. I believe.
All right. Cool. Well, I mean, nothing really. I haven't had any complaints from anybody, so that's good. I've been keeping up with honors, I guess, for the majority of my time. They all seem like they're doing fine. And I've just been working on ESE stuff, trying to make sure that I, don't fail any of my classes this semester. So nothing much for me.
That's all you can do, sir. So that sounds pretty good. It sounds like something I guess we should all be doing. So that's awesome to hear. And then last, University Pines. I guess Senator Roberts, you can go, and then.
So for University Pines, I've heard nothing. I don't really have anything to report on this week.
Okay. I guess we can take that as a good thing in these times, so that's okay. Then Senator Ramirez.
Okay, so I went over to U Pines this past Saturday to pick up most of my stuff, but I'm like not moved out yet. And though I didn't see a lot of like residents still there, I did find a problem with one of the gates, like that pedestrians would walk in and out of. So I did have to go through the car like gate right near the College of Arts and Sciences. So I don't know if that just started or if people have been having a hard time getting in, so they just have to go through the car gate. But other than that, everything seemed fine. Like people were just chilling in their apartments, maybe going outside, just looking out, just trying to quarantine themselves, but also not be around people. So that's it.
Okay. And I mean, that's definitely a facility thing if one of the gates isn't working, and hopefully that's something that they can have ironed out with their exception or the exceptionally large amount of time without students on campus. So if now I can inquire, and I would encourage you maybe reach out and just have it recorded for them to reach out or to try to fix that. I'm the one who typically,
The
Senator
reset is right
Bonner
on the
is the
side of my
fix.
building. So typically whenever it gets stuck, I just fix it. But just text the RA cell phone whenever it's stuck again, and they'll go out and they'll fix it.
Well, I would
Hopefully.
guess that her problem is that she probably won't be on the campus anymore. So it may just be something that if you can reach out to whoever is like, I know the guy's name, but I don't know like their contact. So if you can reach out and contact them and say, I know I'm not there yet. I'm the superior fixer for that gate, and just because I'm not there doesn't. I don't say that. Just reach out and ask them about it. So awesome. So does anybody have any quick other student voice reports? None. Okay, so I think I can. I have to go soon. So if unless we have stuff, we can continue. But I may, if I drop out in the middle of it, it's not because I don't like you guys. It's because I have something else I have to hop to. I promise. So if I drop out suddenly, it's Hannah will pick up. But does anybody have anything to add to old business? Bring up any old business? Okay. So does anybody have any new business that they want to bring up? Anything on that line? What? Okay. And I guess seeing none, if there isn't any, if you guys happen to, and I just want to say this, if you happen to have something that wants to be brought up before next week, that just didn't get brought up, if you could reach out to me so we can have it on there, because next week we'll be doing swear-ins for senators and new officers, any of the changes that are happening. So it would just help so we can have that organized and we can be most attentive to people's time, and that way we don't get over. I mean, I don't mind staying here, but if it's something that we need to pay attention to, but if there is something that comes up, just let me know, and then maybe it can be worked out beforehand. But seeing that there's none of those things, we'll go on to advisor comments.
I have no comments for this one.
Yes. I'm just kidding. No, that means we did good. So I would suppose. So moving on, that there's no advisor comments. We'll go to, typically there's announcements. So does anybody have any announcements? One, two, going once, going twice. Okay. So I guess we'll move on to second roll call. Oh, Cameron for Miss UT Tyler.
Hey, hold on. I've got some folks have chatted me real quick. The elections are this week, so it goes out at midnight tonight. And so as a reminder, every student will get an email tonight or at midnight. And the elections will stay open until 4 p.m. on Friday. Another reminder will go out on Friday at noon. That will give individuals a literally 4 hours left to vote. So that's something new that I implemented just to see since we kind of had a low turnout on the vote or the constitution changes, I want to make sure that we get plenty of votes for elections. And so that answers one of the questions that someone messaged me. And then Casey, you're good to go. You don't have to, we took care of it. So other than that, I think that's everybody's questions for me.
Okay, so Secretary Jennings, did you get the second roll call?
I'm just going to read it. If y'all can unmute your microphones real quick, it'd be easier so I don't have to split my screen. Okay, President Menendez,
Here.
VP Cooper,
Here.
Treasurer Rawashde,
Here.
Parliamentarian Ray,
Here.
Senator Asprey, Senator Barakat,
Here.
Senator Botter,
Here.
Senator Brooks, Senator Burke, Senator Foote,
Here.
Senator Forster,
Here.
Senator Green, Senator Karn, Senator Long,
Here.
Senator Martinez, Senator Mays, Senator McAdams, Senator Nepal, Senator Ramirez,
Here.
Senator Reed,
Here.
Senator Roberts, Senator Rodriguez,
Here.
Senator Stabenow,
Here.
Senator Thomas, and Senator Williams.
Here.
Okay, so I guess entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion
for
to
reference, just real quick, we don't have quorum, so I don't even think it's necessary for us to do an adjourn vote.
Okay. Then bye, guys. Be
All right.
good.
See y'all later.
Stay safe.